Yeah, so basketball really became my sport of choice. Went to the Saturday morning sessions that sort of built my love for the sport. I just love the fact that it's quick paced, it's amazing, it's great. You can have a game where there's a team, 20 points down, within 5-6 minutes they can be winning by the same. It's just, I like it because it's like that and it's good sport. But what really keeps me with the coaching and with the really getting involved as opposed to just being a sort of spectator of the game is the fact that it challenges my perceptions, especially coaching young people. It challenges my perceptions of them, because I would find it very easy to sort of slip into the sort of belief that young kids just run around the streets in groups and cause problems and trouble and only exist to sort of to annoy anyone who's not their age. But when you actually get to coaching and to seeing how kids really apply themselves to things they love and listen and learn and really want to make themselves better at, and not just the sport and things, but in life in general, it's just really an eye-opener and really is amazing. And that's one of the reasons I absolutely love NBC and NBC camps, is because it's not just the sport. I'm watching how some of the kids, some of the campers who came when I first started coaching were little shy kids with glasses the size of bottle ends, who now I see they're getting to their last year or so at camp, 6-7 years later, and they're confident people who are out there who couldn't bounce a basketball, couldn't pick up a basketball when they started, and now who are out there playing the game, playing it well. Not only that, they're great people, amazing people who you'd love to spend time with, and it's just amazing to see that transformation. It's just really what keeps me going in the sport and what I really love.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that too. I really was interested in seeing if there's some similarities between the United States and the UK when it comes to the motivation to utilize sports as kind of a character development tool. And, what are some of the barriers, or what are some of the things that stand to compete with you guys for the attention of your young people? You know what I mean? Negative things, that compete for the minds and hearts of young men and women who you guys train.
Especially where I live, and especially the Birmingham area, you look at deprivation being one of the strongest influences. With the deprivation comes a lot of other social problems, in terms of the poverty, in terms of the drugs, in terms of the prostitution, in terms of the underachievement, educationally, all of those things is a melting pot. Kind of put young people in a very tough environment. You wonder. It's easy for you to understand why a young person, they're living in a single parent family, that parent is, on social benefits, and they look as though, they've got to do something to help out the household. So, it may be something that's not legal, that's not totally legit, it might be a criminal activity, but when you're backed into a corner, the only thing that certain people, they work out their problems in different ways, and if you don't know any better, if you're not given any tools or any vehicles in terms of being able to overcome them, or look the other way, or travel a more positive route, or get good guidance and advice, then you're gonna take the easy route, you're gonna take the quick fixer, So in terms of, I believe deprivation, especially in urban areas, is one of the main problems, but at the same time, it's one of the hardest problems to fix. There's so many different ways and so many different approaches that you can take or can't take, and at the end of the day, it does resort down to money in terms of resources, or in terms of how the little pots of money are being used. For me, one of the main problems I see that there are a lot of so-called good initiatives. The people who've got these brilliant names and got these nice fancy programs, which they say that they can do this and do that. But are these programs actually making any real effect? Secondly, are those programs actually engaging the people who need it the most? You know, just again to speak for myself, we spent the last 3 years trying to prove to the local authority and local government in terms of how we're actually impacting young people's lives. You know, and it's been a big struggle at the beginning. Now we've actually developed some type of a relationship and a reputation. You know, and it's got to the point now where the young people speak for themselves. You know, the quality of the work speaks for itself. The organisation speaks for itself. You know, and that's what I've always been a big believer in terms of not to worry about trying to do things in terms of resources. Just do things well. You do things well, people will see that those things. You know, and those things will that's karma for you. It may seem a bit holy schmoly, but I'm a big believer in that.
No, that's good. Coach Martin, how about you? You're in a unique place, being a resident of a place that I didn't even know existed until about 5 years ago, the Isle of Man. But now it's great, though. I mean, having visited there. But do you bear witness with some of the things that Dwayne was saying as far as some of the barriers, the things that can compete?
I think to a degree, there's some similarities on the Isle of Man. I mean, in Dublin, where I'm from originally, I spent a number of years there. Definitely, there's massive areas that are just unbelievable. But with the island, I think it's almost different challenges. There are some homes and families who will be in that situation, but for a lot, the island's quite well off, and we've done well for ourselves, and there's been good investment. So I mean, we're not by any means in a bad place. I think for young people on the Isle of Man, the real danger is that lack of purpose and boredom, and it's just not, you know, you hear it from people, youngsters on the island all the time, and I used to be the same. I used to say the same. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. And of course, when there's nothing to do, you find something to do, and invariably it's something that ends you in a bad place if you can't find a good project or a good thing to focus your energies on. And that's, I think, one of the big dangers of, you know, young people who just don't have that drive, that goal, that passion for any given thing in their life at any stage, and they just lose their way, and before they know it, they've gone down to paths that they didn't want to go down. They just went there because they thought they had nothing better.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. I always think of how interesting it is that character development is a need essential to all of personhood. You know, any human being, you know, on the earth. No one's exempt, whether you are wealthy or deprived. You know, I think that's where we kind of see some of the most fundamental and organic human needs is in the area of character. You know, and the fact that there are so many destructive things on the high side and on the poverty side that compete for the minds and hearts of young men and women. And it's amazing in some respects that a lot of what is done governmentally sometimes it's just quick fix stuff, you know, like you were saying. You know, it's money and programming, and it's paper, and it's not that it's not well intended, but don't know that it's well developed or well orchestrated. And you know, so grassroots people like you who get in the trenches and work with organizations like an NBC camps or with SLAM, you start your own thing. I'm always excited about those things because I think that you're getting into the lives of these people and trying to understand who they are, you know, what motivates them, and what drives them. So I wish you both the best in your continued efforts to change lives and create leaders, because I know that's what you want to do, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I know our paths will cross again, but it's been a pleasure, and you know, I'd love to have some tea.
Nice cup of tea and sit down.
That's right. That's what it is. So, 6 men signing out after talking to 2 of the finest men this side of the Atlantic Ocean. And what is it you say here when you're saying goodbye? Is there anything fancy, you know?
Cheers. See you later.
Cheers works. All right. We're out.